Hey folks, how's everybody doing today? This is a special supplemental episode because we meant to do this every Sunday, but of course, last Sunday was Mother's Day, and a few of us thought we could actually make it for the 9 o'clock, and I thought so too. Except that I'm 3 hours ahead or behind everybody, so it was 6 o'clock my local time, which was still during dinner with my mother-in-law. But anyway, we're here today. We're going to be talking about Bad Blood, and we're going to be trying to do this every weekend, every Sunday evening. So if you have any questions or thoughts about the upcoming game, please tune in. And next week we also have a special giveaway. Where at the end of the episode, where I'll be giving away a premium scope. Let me just pull out this one. This one is from CV Life, and this is their premium scope. This is their Bear Power. This is a 6 to 24 by 50 millimeter scope, and it is a legitimate ELR scope. That's an extreme long range scope, because this thing is clear enough that you could make out an IPSC target from over 1,000 yards with this. So yeah, this is their top of the line scope. Now CV Life is, well, most people have considered this to be budget, or as I believe the pejorative is, airsoft grade. But to be honest, their gear is pretty durable enough to play with. And this is their first scope that I would consider pretty decent. It is certainly a true ELR scope in terms of the reticle and its build quality. So I'm going to be giving away one of these. CV Life has agreed to send the winner one of these. So all you have to do is comment on my original review video of this scope and send me a screenshot, and you can find all the details at moondogindustries.com/contest. But we'll be giving this away at the end of next week's live stream. And to my immediate left, we have Ian, my co-host.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
So we got folks. Ian is the co-producer, or the co-general manager, game manager of Bad Blood. So he's been working on Bad Blood for, what was it, over 10 years now, right?
This is my 11th year participating in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ian's been my right-hand man and right screen man for over 10 years. Oh, hey, we got Matt joining us. Hey, Matt, thanks for joining us on the side chat. And if you have any questions, please join us on the side chat here
Yeah, I'm
today.
actually gonna leave the chat on screen because my idea was actually let's do a bit of a Q&A.
Mhm.
We can really hear from what everybody wants to ask, because we've got all the different planning groups, and we've got a couple Facebook community chats that were created by our streaming service here magically, which was really kind of cool. And people started to use them. So yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to ask it here, and we'll try and get to everything.
Do we have any questions left over from last week that you recall?
I mean, there's a bunch that are in the chat right now. Majority of them are to deal with FPS and Joules understanding. So I figure we're gonna have to bring that up a couple times today.
Mm-hmm. Let's get a couple of links up. There's a couple of charts, and again, these are, I mean, joules and FPS and weight. I mean, it's all physics. So
I've got the one that Joker and Virtue like to use, and I feel it's the easiest to kind of really comprehend what we're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we're going to be doing Bad Blood this year is we're using 0.32 gram BBs, and we're going to max out at 1.55 joules. So for this chart, let's just say 156, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to put you right here in the 410/156 joules line for all of your standard weight BBs.
So if you're used to shooting with 0.25s, that's at 367 FPS. That's well over 400 FPS with 0.2s, which was the original standard for BBs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the questions and comments I've been seeing the past few days is because we know that people like to get new stuff from Evic or whoever they go through. Um, and so they're like, well, well, if I get a new AEG, is it, and it says on the box, 400 FPS out the box. Okay, that generally means with point two O's. So you're gonna, with any stock AEG that you're gonna get from a reputable retailer, you're most likely gonna come in fine.
Yeah.
Um, there is some stuff out there that is a little too too hard for us to deal with in terms of gauging it and the punch that it packs. Um, Novrich comes to mind. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I know that his custom sniper rifles use a non-standard size BB that we can't we can't gauge. So it's something we just, unfortunately, I know some people really like that platform. We can't use it because we can't safely gauge it. It's just it's too strong, it's too powerful, and it's not a standard BB that is recognized by what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and there, there's things that are out of our control, like insurance,
Well,
and what they will cover. There's also other things that we want to keep in mind here is that this is as a milsim light is what we've often, always called this, and it really is sort of to prepare you for more hardcore milsims, and they have even more stringent rules. But one of the things is we try to comply. We try to align ourselves with the FPS and gear requirements that they have. And if you can't meet these requirements, you're never going to be able to get into those bigger, more expensive and much more serious games. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So we've done our best to kind of align our basic guidelines with what the nationals are doing nowadays. And it works. It's because like you just said, it then gets you prepared to do some of those. I'm not going to say bigger because nothing's bigger than what we're trying to do.
yeah, in terms of
Those
size of a number of players,
different style events, which might be a little more, um, what's the word? Hardcore,
elaborate. Yeah,
elaborate. Like much more heavily more requirements. Things like that. Bad Blood is it's a fun game. It's a charity game. We're here to just have a good time. It was never, I'm going to say never, but it's not it's not your standard milsim game. This year we're trying to bring in more milsim elements, but it's still a gigantic pew pew fest. Everybody knows that. And that's what everybody wants, and that's fine. But if you can get your gear in alignment with what we're trying to do, we can guarantee you it's going to get you in line with these other national games and even your local fields. Local fields are starting to get on those same bandwagons too of making sure everything is kind of even across the board. So
absolutely.
there's
It's
nothing wrong with standardizing. I mean, like everybody's got to be a little bit different, and that's great. But there's nothing wrong with having a standard. This is where we're at, and this is where it's going to be, and everybody's doing that. So why not?
Yes, and one of the things that we all like to do is just hone our skills. And so if we have a baseline, then everybody's starting from an even playing field. Now, one of the things that this might be actually a good transition to one of the side topics we have, since we're and if you have any more questions, please post this up. But we'll get to your questions next. But we're talking about being more milsim. We've tried to introduce some more milsim elements to Bad Blood in the past, and one of the side topics I wanted to introduce is some of the failed attempts to be more milsim.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that came to mind was when I had the idea to um, make it so that only players that brought squad automatic weapons would be allowed to fire full auto, and that everybody had to fire in semi-auto otherwise, which it tries to simulate why why armies have light machine guns at all. And but since there were very limited at the time, and it really still are very limited selections as to saws,
Right.
and few players had the means and the access to get them. We also allowed any player with an M4 with a large box mag
Right.
to
I remember
function
that.
as the saw, as long as they had a tripod in the front. So we allowed that. But then what ended up happening is we'd constantly get reports from players on the radio constantly saying there's somebody cheating. He has an M4. He's firing in full auto. And then we'd spent most of the game just running down all of these reports.
Right.
And it's possible that none of them were valid. That all of them were actual saws that looked like M4s, because they're essentially, and that all these were erroneous reports, or we could have had players cheating. Anyway, that's the reason why we didn't end up doing this. And that was pretty much a failure. But there are milsim games where they do have those kind of rules.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the especially the ones that are founded and run by veterans, or have at least veterans on staff, they know how to handle that kind of thing, and they kind of know what they're looking for, and the participants know what they're getting into, right? So with something like Bad Blood, everybody knows it's a full auto thing, and most people do also respect the fact that while it is everybody can go full auto pretty much anywhere you want, you're not going full auto inside any of the structures. That luckily hasn't been a problem the past few years, which is nice. I think the fact that the tribals own the second floor of the castle has really helped that. That way we're not getting, some faction team who's just holding down the castle for an hour, blasting, full auto out the windows and over the ramparts. So that has kind of really cut back on that, which is nice. But if you are able to take the lower level of the castle, just remember it's semi only in there.
Mm-hmm. And no firing directly up,
Yep, right.
because
No firing directly up.
Mhm.
Tribals, no firing directly down. Yeah, but then we always still get the arguments of the mouse holing, right? Okay, well, I don't know if people still remember the term mouse holing, but the whole idea is if you can't fit your head through the opening, you shouldn't be shooting through the opening. That's the basic rule of thumb. Because there could be a little crack in the wood or something like that, and that's big enough to put your barrel through. That's not going to fly. That because then you've made yourself basically immortal, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be the guy to call out that guy, because then I got to go over and I got to yell at him, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain to Ian's point. There's a level of sort of fair play that we all have to exercise in this game, and it is, we're getting back to Ian's point. This game is all about having fun.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I think we got our first good question about
Oh.
this. I'm going to need you to explain to me which that is. Is that a drop-in for existing stuff, or is that one of his products that uses the larger barrel and the larger BB? Before we can answer that question.
Now, yeah, because not all of his not all of Novarich's AEGs are is it 8mm, or I forget which?
No, they're like 6.6 or something like that. They're too big for us to chrono with our BBs. But that just could be the sniper rifles. I'm not sure exactly what the full thrust kit is, because if it's just a 1-for-1 drop-in that still uses a standard 5.96 to 604 BB, I don't see a problem with it as long as your FPS, your joules is fine.
Yeah.
But if it uses a BB that we can't physically chrono with, then we can't let it on the field. Okay, the 6.44. I don't think we can chrono that.
I mean,
because
yeah,
know
because
I know our EVIC .32s are not gonna, they're just gonna fall right through.
yeah, and it's not going to give an accurate measurement because
Right.
you're going to get so much more air going around it. Um, so that's that just don't bring it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I know people love his work, and I love his products. But yeah, for the legality of us being able to chrono it accurately, I don't see how we can allow it. I think the pistol is okay. The
Ye-
SSP. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not a user of his stuff, but I think it's the SSP 4 or something like that. I believe that's just basically just a really well worked pistol. So that one
Yeah,
would
but
be
I would not
more than
bring it
likely.
just because I'd be afraid of losing it at the
That's it.
field.
Yeah, that too.
So,
Yeah,
and I say that because everybody who brings at the Lost and Found, we're constantly being brought in pistols that have fallen out of somebody's holster,
yeah.
just from crawling around, running around. It's not that people are pilfering, but there's always that risk. But I'm just saying is that, you know, it's a long game. You're going to lose. It's very likely you might accidentally lose some of your gear just
I
from regular playing.
I actually, as an on-field admin, generally carry a dump pouch with me for all the stuff people hand me to go take back to
Yes.
Lost and Found. I think it was it 2 years ago where somebody found a dropped pistol as we called game on. So it's like, so if you're gonna bring a pistol, if you feel you need to have that secondary on you, get a lanyard. Just I don't care if it's just 550 cord and it's duct taped to the handle. Just yeah, just keep it on you
Uh,
because pistols.
there's Smurfette.
Yeah,
Yes.
just there's so much running around. There's so much movement. Those holsters, even the good ones, they come loose, and stuff gets lost.
Or especially mags get
Oh,
accidentally the mag release button gets pressed on your pistol, and half the
you
time,
you know what? For you guys who like to carry 12, 15 mags on you, put some tape with your name on it. Don't come up to me and say, "Have you seen an M16 mag? What color is it? Black? Really? Really? Put your name on it."
yeah, it just have your name on it. No, but it has a number.
Yeah.
Okay, 2. Okay,
Little
well,
little bit
that's
of little bit
helpful.
of get a little bit of painter's tape. It's not leaving any residue on your stuff. Write your name on it. Write your phone number. Put a little
Yeah,
smiley face. I don't care. Just something to identify it as yours when I pick it up and take it to Lost and Found.
and Smurfette is there asking you, okay, identify what it is that you've lost before she pulls it out of the lost and found box. Oh yeah, and paint marker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to go there, some people don't like to write on their stuff. They want it all pristine, and that's fine. Just something to make it yours. Honestly, do the same thing with your with your rifles too, because I've turned rifles into to Lost and Found. I don't know how it happens, but I've done it. Put something, put some tape on your buttstock, put your name on it. Just you know, because what I think it was is probably somebody put it down and then like went to their car or something. Well, gun just sitting out in the open. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it in a safe place. You might think
Or
it's going to be there when you get back, but
or it's not that. Yeah, it's somebody like put their gun down because that somebody got injured or something,
sure,
and then went to go help them, and then in all of the with the ambulance arrived because they had a heat stroke or something, they totally forgot about their AG, and then as the game went on, somebody else came across it, and they didn't want to just leave it there, so
yeah,
they would call us over, hey, I found this rifle, it belongs to somebody. So
yeah.
yeah,
And it's as much as we are we are working to make this a little more milsim esque. It's not exactly a game of stealth. So putting some tape on your stuff isn't going to make you stand out like a sore thumb. So tape your mags, tape your guns, tape your radio because everybody's going to have a radio, right? Just something that says when it falls off of you, somebody else is going to pick it up. They're going to be a good person. They're going to hand it to me. They're going to hand it to Moondog. They're going to hand it to their own embed on their team, which is fine too, because then they'll eventually get it to me. And, it'll be waiting for you at the end of the day.
Plus, it's more Milsim because anybody who's in the service, you got to put your name on everything, or else.
Yeah. On everything. So, and I know how much you guys love your patches and all the stuff. So what's a little more decoration? Have fun with it.
Absolutely. So maybe we should. I see a couple of folks. Just might be good to do a call out for everybody who's on the side on the chat. So. Noel, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. We've got Kruddock, Mark Thomas. He's going to be one of our new embeds. So good to have you on board. Smurf, we already saw your post earlier. She's one of our take-in staff, our Black Widows, our Airsoft Widows, as we call them. We got Dakota Burgess. We got Link Chen. Hey, Link is actually is part of Discovery Optics, and they're the ones who are going to be. I'm going to be giving that I gave away the scope. Has it been 2 weeks now? Amazing scope, the EDPRS, and I'm testing out a new scope from them that is got a wired reticle. And actually, Mark, who's on the chat, he's going to be testing it on his muzzle loader. He built a tactical muzzle loader. So
I remember we tried that for, what was it? Was it Tantalum Contract?
Oh, no. It was a whole series that I started. It was historical. So we did muzzle loading airsoft. Where it was a special game where I tried to do different eras of firearms. So we started with muzzle loading and doing firing lines abreast. So yeah, it kind of worked. You had to load the BBs through the barrel.
Yeah,
and then you just shoot them.
The cleaning rod to push it down into the hop up. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And then we went into World War I, where everybody had to fire semi only, and then moving into World War II and the modern era. And so moving on, we got Ryan, and we got Rosalinda, and we got Jamie JH586, and we got Tim S, and Matt Rush.
And Matt Rush, yeah.
Yeah. And
all right.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining in on here. Okay, we got one other vote of support for Discovery. Yeah, really excellent scope, and just from my conversations, they really are taking suggestions from valid input from folks about what makes scopes work and what doesn't. Like the fact that they came out with this new scope that the MS series with a reinforced reticle, and their thought was, they were asking me if it worked for break barrel air guns. And I don't know if for those of you who know, they're like super beefed up BB guns that we, the pump BB guns as a kid that we had, except that these can fire 22 caliber or 25 caliber pellets. So they're meant to be hunting.
I thought those were 17.
The standard ones are 1.7, but then you can get hunting big bore break barrels that are 22 caliber and 25 caliber, so that you can go. I've seen videos of hunters actually taking down suckling pigs,
and they're still air powered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because even with the one I have, it's a 22, and it's a 22 caliber pellet. It doesn't use 22 caliber bullets.
Right.
But it can propel it. I've chronoed it at just over 1,000 feet per second.
Wow.
So this is technically right at transonic speed with that pellet. Anyway, the thing is, because it functions kind of like a Springer, you have to cock the barrel and cock the spring, and then the spring, you've got the air going out, so you have the slight recoil of the air being pushed out by the piston, but then you've got the slam of the piston hitting the cylinder, which causes it to move forward.
Sure,
You've
sure.
got that back and forth movement with this big heavy um, air gun, which is the heaviest rifle I own. It's heavier than my real steel, and it they're notorious for destroying scopes. Even like, pick your high end scope, your Leupold or whatever, Vortex, and it'll just shake them because most scopes are reinforced only go in one direction, which is with the recoil of a rifle. So
Right,
this is shaking back and forth. So it's the anyway. So Discovery built a reinforced scope, but unfortunately, it's got a fixed parallax at 100 yards, and most airgun hunters don't go for things at 100 yards away.
yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of problematic because I usually for airgun competitions, it's 10 yards, it's 10 meters
Okay.
for Olympic airgun competitions, and for most hunters, from what I understand, they seldom go past 20, typically around 25 to 30 yards to take game. Small squirrels and
Mm.
and small ground birds, but never more than 50 yards. So having a parallax on a scope that goes down to 10 yards is definitely needed if you're going to be hunting with an air gun.
Sure.
So
Oh, that
yeah.
sounds great.
All right. So let's see if there. Oh yeah. Mark says there are even 50 caliber air guns. So yeah.
I don't want to know what I I understand what you're saying about, though, with the spring back and pushing the I don't know what you want to call it, the chamber forward to do something 50 cal at air. No, I don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah. Well, I think those are PCP. So I don't know if there's an actual brake barrel that's 50. Is there? Who knows? There might be.
I'm not even allowed to say gun in this neighborhood. So
oh yeah, or with the YouTube's AI, their new AI, they're probably running through who knows what. Yeah, he said 50 cal, PCP, but you kind of need that larger diameter for going after larger game, right? So
I guess varmint hunters and whatnot. Yeah, as long as it works for you. But yeah, I could see the dual shaking could really do some havoc on a scope. Yeah, and that's supposed to be the most reliable piece of the puzzle, right? Because you got to be able to see what you're looking at.
I've seen scopes. I've tried out sort of cheap regular scopes on an air gun, and then after about 10 or so rounds, you'll see the reticle start rotating out of place. It's like, okay, this one didn't work.
Yeah, my only problem I've had with scopes with airsoft is kind of like topping out or bottoming out when trying to zero it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like sometimes I've known for multiple times I've actually had to put like shims on the plate to get it so that I could actually still even zero it at like 150, 200 feet.
Absolutely. Because
it's like, why am I putting electrical tape on here? Why can't I just turn the knob a little further? And then you hear like, oh shoot. Yeah. So yeah, but so the only AEG now I has a scope on it. It's a Vietnam M16 with an honest to God Vietnam M16 scope on it. So
which were they issued for
it was
Vietnam Air?
It was a 3x9, and it looks like a cigar tube. And it actually
clamps down to the hole.
It clamps down to the hole in the carry handle. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I've seen now it just triggered the memory in terms of the photos of that.
It's completely useless for airsoft, but it's great.
Well, those are only like what are they 3 power?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not bad for airsoft.
Yeah, but it's good to use as basically, mounted monocular. You know what I mean? Like you're not for what we're trying to do with Vietnam airsoft. It's not really gaining you anything. It's just good for sighting. You're not combat wise. It's not helping you at all. But it's nice to have. So.
Well, it's all about the gear and the reels. Well, it's a LARP.
No, sure, yeah. I mean, the first red dot scopes came out of Vietnam, It was
Mhm.
literally meant for you to, and it was a solid piece. It
Yeah, where
wasn't,
the big tubes, right?
but it was solid. You couldn't actually see through it.
Oh, I
It
didn't
was
realize that.
there was a red piece of plastic facing you, and you were meant to look at it with
Yeah,
both eyes
both
open,
eyes open, yeah.
and that way it kind of created that fake red dot on your target. It worked well, but, a lot of people can't figure out how to keep both eyes open when looking through a scope.
I
Takes a
know,
little practice, guys, but it's not that bad after a while.
I still do that, just because I've been starting to do a lot more reviews, and all the optics companies are, I mean, well, are sending me out LPVOs, which I never really had an interest in before they started sending them out to me. Um, and yeah, the I was the range master over at the sheriff's office was reminding me, both eyes, both
Mhm.
eyes. It's like, oh, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, it takes a minute for your brain to adjust, but once you get used to it, it's sort of like, learning to even just go prone, a prone shooting position. You know, you, it takes a minute for your brain to figure out what it is you're doing, but once you start doing it, you get used to it. You realize, why wasn't I doing it this whole time? So yeah, any of you guys who are using any kind of scope, yeah, make sure you keep both eyes open, and especially for something like Bad Blood, because there's movement everywhere. If you're forcing yourself literally into this tunnel, you have no idea what's going on around you. So if you got a free eye open, you at least get some movement, but you're still on target through your scope. It's.
This is definitely a game where situational awareness is, you have to have
Oh
it
yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
Because most have gotten into the habit of, most just about almost every other airsoft game you go to, you've got your starting position, that's your back. You really don't have to watch your six
right,
unless you're going really deep into enemy territory. So you always know that direction is where I came from. I don't
yeah,
have to worry about it too much because the guys who are respawning are coming from behind me. But with Bad Blood, it's coming from all directions. There is no rear.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
thing the thing to also keep in mind in Bad Blood, like, I don't watch airsoft videos, but I do watch airsoft cheater videos.
Okay.
Um, and the biggest thing is, okay, well, I didn't see who shot me, so I'm not going to count that. You always get that guy, right? But when you're literally on EMR, you're surrounded, especially if you're in the middle of the field, you're surrounded. So you're going to be taking shots from all directions. Just because you didn't see who shot you in the back, you got shot in the back. Call it, triage. You'll be back in a few minutes. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I love the videos where the guy, like the guy with the scope cam, he's looking right at the guy, hits him square in the nuts, and he doesn't call it because he didn't see it. Oh, don't don't be that guy.
Absolutely. So we got a question out here from Noel. You know what? So this question is: speaking of LPVOs, I feel like I'm looking for a unicorn, a 1 to 8 first focal plane that has. Or
Reticle.
I guess it seems reticle. Reticle, you can see daylight bright under $300. I don't think it exists yet, only because when you are dealing, you can get a second focal plane that's daylight bright because they're using LEDs. The thinnest LED thread is embedded inside of the crosshair reticle. But you can't do that. Well, no, that's not entirely true. But you could use that kind of reticle with a first focal plane, but nobody makes it. You're absolutely right. But most of the times when you're dealing with a first focal plane reticle, they're floating reticles where you have just a crosshair or some sort of um, donut or horseshoe of death in the center as your aiming point, and that grows or shrinks depending on your magnification. But in those cases, you cannot embed a fiber optic cable in there because it's meant to be floating with no obstruction around it. So then I think they're using laser LEDs to illuminate the unetched reticle in the center, and only a few companies have either the proprietary technology or
Doubt
maybe it's
those are in
patented
the
technology.
I doubt any of those are in the sub 300 price.
No, no, not that I found. I would love to see one. There's some that are fairly bright. I mean, even the baseline primary arms SLX, I think that I have. It's a 1 to 8. It's pretty bright you know, at maximum. In fact, it's bright enough that I'm actually getting flares around the outer edge, so I never crank it up. I forget if it goes up to 9 or if it's 7 or 6, but I seldom crank it up all the way to the top just because I don't like getting that fringe of red.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so Link was saying, yeah, you can get daylight bright, but yeah, you're getting into bougie territory there, Link. If as he says, I think he meant Burns or Barris, maybe he typoed that. The ATACer and the NXX.
No, Noel Burns is the user.
Oh, sorry. No. So the Night Force ATACer and XA, those are daylight bright, but and the Smitten Bender and the Razor HD, but you know those are over 1,000, over 1,500. Some are, I think, a couple of those are over $2,000. So yeah, not affordable for most folks,
That's when
especially not
you're
airsoft.
shooting real serious. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so IMT, IMT. Yeah,
All right. I mean, so maybe they are out there. You know.
I would like to see it. I think that's the biggest complaint I've had a couple of the budget, the under $200 LPVOs that I've tested, where you know they just weren't super bright. But to be fair, you know, we've been using optics for the last 15 years playing airsoft, or even, you know, for the folks who are in the military and law enforcement for longer than that. And only recently have we gotten real daylight bright. So those guys have managed to shoot very well up until this point without having reticles that bright. So yeah, it can be done. Okay, so question.
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
So we have Brandon asking, or Braden asking, maybe I missed it, but have we got an answer about whether or not gas pistols will be allowed for the zombie game? Yes, gas pistols are absolutely allowed for the zombie game, provided, of course, that they you know, meet the FPS limits.
Yeah, this is part of the one of the Automagic chats that was created by Facebook, where you, Joker, and I differ on gas pistols. I am of the mindset that green gas pistols, whatever, you know, it is what it is. CO2 pistols, have always felt should be chronoed.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I know
you're absolutely right. Sorry, I was thinking he meant gas blowback pistols, green gas pistols.
And he very well may be, but I know this goes to the argument of CO2 pistols. Do they have to be chronoed or not? I'm
agreeing with you there, because
but I don't think Virtue and Joker agree. I don't. Sin, if you're listening, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't think he's been chronoing pistols for speed to get people in and out of line.
I think that's for the normal game, but not for the zombie game.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the zombie game, it's because we're trying to keep FPS low, because I just don't want people to get, you know, hurt, because we remove the minimum range limits because zombies are trying to touch you. So you can be shooting at somebody, you know, less than 10 feet away. And the thing about CO2 pistols is, unless I'm wrong, there could be some new model that's out there. There's no regulator in the mechanism. They all rely on direct pressure from the cartridge.
Right.
And most of them are pretty close to within the limits, but
yeah, I've never seen a CO2 pistol out of the box that breaches FPF limits.
I've owned them. Yes.
Okay. But I know they get pretty darn close, and a CO2 pistol might be too heavy for the zombie game. For Bad Blood main event, yeah, go for it. If you wanna be that guy who brings his pistol out and potentially loses it because it's not on a lanyard, that's fine. As long as if we do chrono it, as long as it's under the joule limit. But I think it's your standard CO2 pistol is going to exceed the joule limit for a low power zombie game.
Yeah. And the other thing is because they're unregulated as the day, if it's a hot day, the pressure actually increases because it's all relying on the ambient heat to convert that liquid CO2 into gas.
Yeah.
So on warmer days, the FPS goes up. And to beat a dead horse, there was I've had a 1911 CO2 pistol that was not. I don't believe it was a blowback, but it was a non-blowback. But
Okay.
out of the box, I chronoed it 500 FPS.
See, that's insane.
Yes, it was crazy, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, "Wow, this is totally not
Yeah.
safe."
Because I've got a 1911 that can take green gas and CO2 mags. And during warm months, I use green gas. If I dare to go out in the cold months, that's when I'll use CO2
Yeah, yeah,
because obviously, you got the problem with green gas with propane and in the cold. But yeah, I'll take propane over CO2 any day. That's just me. I hate the little cartridges. They're freezing cold when you got to swap them out. I'd rather just get some Coleman gas and some silicone oil, and just be done with it.
yeah.
So
I don't have that pistol anymore. I forget if I sold it or gave it away as a prize because I was just I never had a use for it. You know what I was playing around with. I was thinking at that high FPS, maybe I could convert it into a sniper pistol, and I actually got a housing,
you know
those sort
what?
of frame things.
That's let's go that route just for a second
Yeah,
because I know we're gonna see those guys. I call them with the motocross t-shirts, um, with the HPA tapped pistols. Pistols aren't well, okay. With exception to like the M92A and stuff like that, pistols generally aren't full auto.
yeah.
So, what do we do if somebody has created a sniper pistol?
If it's bolt action, then
Mm,
we could allow it, but I don't see anybody
I
make
don't
a
see
bolt
anybody
action.
being crazy enough to try it, but there's going to be somebody out there who's going to try it now. But yeah, if you can figure out a bolt action pistol, that'd be kind of crazy.
What I found with my the 500 FPS CO2 pistol, it was not accurate.
Oh, it can't be.
I went to the extent of actually getting those race pistol frames
Hmm.
for it and put on a scope. But yeah, even though it was firing, I put a 0.3 gram BB, a heavier weight
Okay.
BB, but it was still landing all over the place, worse than my green gas pistol. So
Yeah,
just like it was useless.
can't be accurate. And at that point, you started to wonder, okay, would I just waste my money on this thing? Like,
Yeah,
but, yeah, but I love seeing some of those guys out there with the HPA tapped pistols that have an M4 mag in them. I'm like,
why? I guess because
you know
why
what?
not?
I'm also from the geek nerd world where it was a big trend in like the late 90s, early 2000s to put Linux on anything, right? So like I knew guys who got Linux to run on like Dreamcasts and Texas Instruments calculators and stuff because they can. That's really the answer because they can. So somebody figured out how to tap uh, an M4 mag. They got a high kappa to M4 mag sleeve converter, and they're like, okay, well here's my pistol. It's got 190 rounds in it. Suck on this. Like, oh man, people are crazy. But you know what? It's their game. They have fun and they're effective. So, but so's the guy out there with the spring tri-shot shotgun. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
why not?
I forget which game. It was a smaller skirmish game, but I was actually nailing guys with a tri-shot shotgun more effectively than they were shooting at me with an AAG.
Yeah.
Because they would just miss me with the AAG for I'm like, and because of the tri-shot, it was still it was a wide enough area that I for sure got them. I mean,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
felt the hit. Two of them hit them. It was like,
Yeah, I mean, I love walking up and down the chrono line Saturday morning, even Friday afternoon, and just seeing some of the stuff people have, and I'm like, you're gonna have the greatest time because you know what you've got, as opposed to the guy who's got his Franken project that, oh yes, please, 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 please. You know what? If you do that, I will pay for your entry fee next year. If you do that, it's on me. If you can HPA tap a smoke wagon, hand to
what
God,
is a smoke wagon?
exactly what it sounds like. There's two models out there. There's a chromed out one, and there's a black blue a blued one.
Are we
It's
talking about a meat smoker?
no, we're talking about a peacemaker. We're talking about a 6-shot Old West pistol.
Oh,
It
okay.
is beautiful, wonderful, wonderful pistol. But yeah, if you can do it, I'm all there for it.
Well, if anybody could do it, it's probably Mark Thomas. He's the
Yeah,
one who has said it made a. I saw a photo of it. He made a tacticalized muzzle loader.
yeah. But oh, that's what I was saying. Oh, he's got the chrome.
Ah, okay.
So I was like the Franken project guns that these guys they don't know what it's gonna do. It's it's literally that. You're tinkering with it to the point where you don't even know if it's reliable, and you're gonna be fighting with it all day long, or you're gonna go back to your car for your, for your you know whatever the G&G combat machine or whatever your backup. But the guy who's in line who knows exactly what he's got his pistol, he's got his tri shot, he's going to have the best day because he knows exactly what he brought with him, how it's going to perform, and how he's going to run his game. And I love it. That's what I love about Bad Blood is you've got 800,000 guys out there, each one running their own game in a way. You make it what you are. Obviously, follow the guidelines of your commanders and the things that your objectives, but it's your game to play, and just have fun with it. As long as you're following the rules, you're not being that guy, because we all know who that guy is. Just do what you want to do. Just don't hurt anybody on purpose. Just have fun. That's all we ask.
Brings a question about Wild West. There have been some attempts to do Wild West themed airsoft games.
Oh, absolutely. But it's the same thing with, World War II and Korea and World War I. There's a limited amount of materials out there. So, if you're okay with, the Viz mod of a 1911 in the Old West, because it's the only pistol somebody had, yeah, sure. But, the ones who want to be accurate, they're going to go out and get the smoke wagon, which is not cheap, but it's worth it. Or some other kind of revolver. I know the Hater is very popular still. That's a crazy pistol. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of replicas out there for period stuff. Honestly, kind of past Vietnam, and even that stuff is, kind of few and far between.
Yeah, I think there was one. I would rarely see the model of an effective pump. Lever action airsoft rifle.
I've seen many. I've never seen one work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They usually will break.
Yep, I've
very
seen a lot of
easily.
guys. A lot of guys have brought them to Wasteland over the years. I know Todsky has owned at least one, maybe two. They've never worked. So it's a great idea. And if somebody could actually make a reliable lever action Remington, it'd be sweet. But I don't know. Maybe it's too many moving parts. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it was. You can make a pump Springer from just about every other configuration. I just never understood why they couldn't do it with a
Yeah.
lever action.
So, but yeah, no, but there's I think S&T makes them. They're out there. but they're not really reliable, and they're not really skirmishable because
Yeah.
the internal magazine is small. Yeah, so people don't really use it because you can't really skirmish with them. Unless everybody's got them, then you got an even playing field. But you know, somebody's got an 8-shot. I understand. Somebody's got an 8-shot, lever action versus an M4. It's not fair.
Hey, Virtue, how are you?
I am fine. Can you gentlemen hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
we can.
quite well. Now,
So, I put words into your mouth about 10 minutes ago. So, can you please clarify something for me?
Okay.
The past couple of years, do you chrono CO2 pistols?
No.
Okay.
yeah. Then we were talking specifically about during the Saturday chrono, as
No,
opposed to the Sunday chrono.
There is one CO2 pistol that I will chrono on site, but nobody has ever brought one because it's a $900 pistol. It's one shot, and it technically takes shotgun shells. Those is the only CO2 pistol I'll chrono.
Now, I was mentioning to Ian, I forgot who made them, and this was probably 2007 or 2008. There was a CO2 non-blowback 1911, and I bought one, and it seriously chronoed at 500 FPS with
Golden Eagle.
Yes, that's it. And
that was made by Golden Eagle.
that thing was so inaccurate because I figured, hey, it's 500 FPS. Let's see if I can turn it into a sniper rifle or sniper pistol. And I even went and got a scope mount for it, for race guns, and attach it to it so I could get a scope on it. But yeah, that thing was so inaccurate in terms of where the BBs were landing, were all over the place, just because the hop.
We had one of those show up at a field, and I had the reps call me because they didn't believe the chrono.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it wasn't an Airsoft Innovations project.
I think eventually mine just started leaking, so it's just like, eh.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the reason those things were so horrendous is because they're the gas feed tube was literally about a nickel thick. So all the gas went right into the chamber, and all that pressure just slowly destroyed the gun.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great idea if it was made out of better material with like an air restrictor in it or something. But no, it was literally just dump gas down tube, go.
Oh yeah, that fit and finish of that thing was terrible too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
No, sorry, I am late, guys. I am actually recovering from COVID.
Oh, good.
I spent 7 days in the hospital. So.
Oh, and that's not good. I didn't know. I realized that. I hope you're feeling better now.
I am. I don't have a choice but to relax. I'm actually taking the summer off from work, or my wife will kill me.
That's a good thing. You need a break. You need to be home for more than an hour a month.
Yeah.
Well, I said I meant good in the sense that you look healthy.
I'm trying.
All right. But so were you actually hospitalized for a couple of days?
2 days on a ventilator.
Good gravy. Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you're out and about.
Yeah. So I'll be on the field. I might be moving slow, but I'll be on the field.
Oh, much appreciated.
Was it from that shit show of a con you went to?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Got even worse. Oh no. Okay.
That's too bad.
I'm glad you're not there.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through the chat here, laughing mildly. Jesus.
Yeah, we're having some fun. There's been good questions. The biggest one is forget your name. Don't kill me. Where is it? Dakota Burgess. He's got a full thrust kit, and we weren't really sure what to do with that. You're the chrono master. You tell us. We're both of the mindset that since it uses a BB that we can't effectively chrono, we can't allow it on the field.
So, not with the chronographs we currently have. We cannot reset them to chrono the 8mm BB.
No, his is a 644, but that's still too big.
The full thrust kit?
He said 6. He said in the chat he's 6.4.
Is it the Knobridge full thrust kit? I'm
Yeah.
assuming?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could have sworn those were. How are the internet? Okay. Yeah, so 6.44 millimeter.
Yeah, but aren't our 5.96
We can't do partials.
fall right through it, right?
Yeah, we can't do partials on the chrono. I can adjust it to 6, 7, or 8. I can't do partials.
Ah,
So the math would be off with our chronos.
Plus, I was thinking we would get just that a little bit of air bleed around the if we used our BBs, it would not be an accurate reading.
Yeah, I don't have a way to. Yeah, we don't. On those grounds, I'd say no. On the fact that the full crest kit is hot garbage, I would say no.
So there's a good enough reason not to get one. But if you did, I'm sorry.
Well, it's like I
If
think
it
they're
works-
like $90 now. When they first came out, he wanted like 150 for them.
yeah. Well, if it works and he's and Braden is comfortable with it, great, as long as your field allows it. But
Yeah, by all means, if you like it, go for it. Never let anybody talk negatively about the stuff you want to purchase for your own enjoyment. My opinions are my own opinions, and my opinion is based on the fact that that slight increase could be used. It could be the same results could be gained by using a heavier weight BB.
sure, yeah.
There honestly is zero actual advantage to it, and that's been tested repeatedly by several people, just to see what the big deal was, and it honestly just wasn't worth it. I've had to install them for clients, and we field tested and range tested, and it was just like, okay, you're different now. That's all that came out of this.
What was the thinking behind the slightly larger diameter?
Money,
So-
you got to buy my proprietary stuff.
Well, that's the marketing side of it. The quote unquote physics behind it they were toting were it would give you better range and more volume behind the BB, which anybody that has a physics degree could argue that down into the ground, and anybody that's played airsoft for a long enough time knows use a heavier weight BB, get a tighter bore barrel,
Yeah,
same results.
yeah. You want to go down, you don't want to go up. Exactly. Yeah.
But that's what it was, and the video footage of them, the people on YouTube using it, was amazing because those guns were tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were tuned. Like of course the footage is going to be good because they don't show all the whiffs. It's like any other sniper airsoft video out there, not targeting Navi Boy, but pretty much all airsoft sniper YouTubers don't show their misses.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, that's the point.
That's
You
one of
don't
the
get
reasons I
you don't get
stopped
views
doing-
when you miss your target.
That's one of the reasons I stopped doing video footage because everybody's like, "Oh man, you leaving all your misses and all your screw ups." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm not John Wick."
Yeah, we were talking about airsoft videos a little while ago, saying I generally don't watch airsoft videos, but I will watch airsoft cheater videos. Just because I just love the nonsense, the ridiculousness people think they're getting away with.
I love and hate airsoft cheater videos at the same time. I hate the fact that they exist because
Yeah.
there's enough content for them to exist, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That annoys the crap out of me. Like the new project we're filming for now is I want to show the other side of airsoft because there's more and more cheater videos. There's more and more rage videos coming out. But I've been to tons of events that have had wholesome and epic moments that nobody talks about, nobody gets on film. So we're trying to cut some of that footage together.
Oh,
shortly.
that's good.
that would
Yeah,
be
that's a
nice.
great
to see.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lighter side of airsoft. Yeah,
Well, yeah, because the sport, if you will, the game, whatever you refer to it in your own little world, we're all LARPing in the woods with toy guns.
100%.
Got a really bad rap because of things like all these cheater videos.
Yeah. Absolutely. But to your point, it's sort of a human nature, the sort of rage bait. And that's
Yeah.
Yeah, the race for more clicks. But I applaud your effort. I would love to see that.
I'm not allowed to edit any video this summer under pain of my wife beating me.
Well, that's pretty low physical effort.
I'm not allowed to do anything stressful or to even talk about work.
No.
Hi, dear. See, she sensed it.
Good for you. You need a break.
Can I steal some messages?
Yes, dear.
Thank you.
Can you throw me my bait?
Yes.
But like I haven't even like unloaded my walls. Not even back up from the last airsoft event. Everything is still in the garage. I'm not allowed to do any actual work, or she will kill me. Because part of the COVID was stress. It hit
No
me.
work.
Yes, dear. It hit
We're
me
not
so
working.
hard.
We're just chatting.
Oh
It
yeah.
hit me so hard because of
Only
stress.
fun and love. Show him so much love.
Oh
That's,
yeah.
and that's good for you. We saw that.
But yeah, no. I was talking to the doctors and everything else. One of the reasons it hit me so hard was stress. My immune system was down because I literally don't, like you said, I barely ever take a day off.
Yeah, that's what I said. When's the last time you actually had 24 hours of not either traveling or working an event?
Yeah, up until recently, it's been a while. Like, and then Papa's gonna yell at me if he watches this because Papa brought me down for North versus South 3 or I have the patch somewhere. The last North versus South down in Florida. By the way, amazing event. Had a great time.
Good.
My 9-year-old went. He won the 2-gun challenge because he's so tiny nobody could see him.
Oh, okay. That's right.
It was a great event. But I ended up working. I ended up repping the first Evo.
That's too bad. Well, you're here. You're gonna feel better eventually. So
That's the plan.
Yeah.
I got meds. Yay.
Yay.
But yeah, if there's anybody still here, I can't see the counter.
they're kind of just like letting us rant at each other, which is nice. Thank you, everyone who's
Well,
still.
we'll wrap this up so you can get some
Yeah.
rest because
No, I'm
we're
fine.
right
I'm
there at the
fine
end of
with
the
it.
hour. But are you on any of that? Was it remdesivir? I forget the antiviral.
I don't know. My wife hands me a cup of pills. I shut up and take them.
Well, I took it when I first got COVID, and I don't recommend it because it leaves this metallic plastic taste in your mouth for the whole week that you're taking it.
No,
was just awful.
no. I don't have any of that. I do have an albuterol inhaler now too, like I'm a teenager again.
There's probably about 12 of those floating around my apartment at any given time.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. Thanks, Smur. But it's what was I talking about before she stuck her head in here? Now I don't even remember.
We're talking about you not getting any rest, but now you are.
Yeah. I got a couple of events. Friends have contacted me, other promoters and event producers have been like, "Hey, here's your ticket. Get here. If I see you touch a red shirt, I'm gonna kick you." Like I've literally been told by one of my friends, he's like, "I don't care if the event's on fire, you better not be trying to help." I was like, "That's fine." Getting ready for Airsoft Palooza in Houston.
That's working. Can't go.
You can't go?
No, you can't go. It's working.
No, I can go. I can go and hang out.
You better just be hanging out.
I never work Palooza. I get in and Kurt and Tony, the guys at E-Bike and High Grounds, always hook me up. I literally just talk to Airsoft celebrities, hang out.
You know what you need to do? You need to take Mark Thomas here with you because I promised him that if he can HPA tap a smoke wagon, I'll comp his entry to Bad Blood next year.
He went last year with me. I got him and all the players wanted crew in last year for Airsoft.
There you go. All right, so get on HPA tapping a smoke wagon.
I could probably make that happen.
All right, boys, let's wrap things up. We're at the top of the hour. To reiterate, we've got we do have next Sunday. We're going to be on about the same time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. To talk about if you have any other questions, post them up on the Facebook board for the Bad Blood series, or post them up at the last minute in this chat session. But post them up over at the Facebook group for Bad Blood, and we'll get to those questions. And of course, join us on the live stream. I'll be giving away the CV Life scope and perhaps a little bonus prizes to the folks who, if I could figure this out, on the night of, who are live on the chat. We'll try to figure out a way to get prizes for folks who are posting things up. And
We are going to have our special guest that night too.
Oh yes, and thank you for reminding me. We have a special guest from the JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund, who will be joining us, and hopefully will also be at the event as well. But she's going to be telling us all about Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund and they're helping to find breakthroughs for type 1 diabetes. So
For
be sure to
any of
tune in
you,
for that.
If anyone has forgotten, that's the charity we're benefiting with this game. So
Yes.
Make sure they bring a credit card machine this time, so they can make more money on site.
Yes, so they can
have
receive donations
from a representative from our chosen charity, and she's going to see what we're all about, and give us our marching orders.
Absolutely. So to be sure to tune in this coming Sunday. That's the 19th, I believe.
That is maybe sure.
Yeah, the 19th. Yes, the 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be giving away some extra fun goodies on that night as well. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks for your great questions. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody.